it's so intimidating when you get a standing ovation before you speak. You think, oh my God, they expect way too much, you know, and I do it. JJ reminded me when he came in about, when this happens, I think about, I wish I had my little grandson here, one of my grandkids, the 9-year-old. His name is William, and he was the one of the 5 that was the most impressed about Grandpa being in Congress or running for president. And people would see us on the street or in a restaurant or something and come up, and he was, you know, he'd go to school and he'd talk about Grandpa. And the others were okay with it, but, you know, it was like, is that Grandpa on television? What happened to the cartoons? You know, so, but William, he was really, he got excited about it. So when I chose to stop running for office, I said to him, William, you know, Grandpa's not going to be in Congress anymore. I'm not going to run again, and people are not going to come up and say these nice things, you know, just nobody's going to do that anymore. And he listened and he said, okay. Wasn't too happy about it, but okay. So about, I don't know, several months later, it was after I was out, and we were in a restaurant up in our area, and my family was there, and somebody sent a little note over and said, not going to tell you who I am, and I told the waitress not to say anything, but I just think you're a good guy. I want to buy your dinner for your family there. And I thought, so I read this to my family. I said, gosh, you know, order some wine. No, I mean, I said, there's this really nice person here who's doing this. I don't know. And they were all just good, yeah, impressed. And we got up and we were leaving and we were walking out the door. A lot of people at the door. They're waiting to come in. It's a popular restaurant, a lot of people. And as we were walking out, some people said, "Oh, Tom Tancredo, what? You know, nice guy." And they went into this. They were being very laudatory and very nice. And my little grandson was watching all of this. And so, as we walked to the car, he says to me, "Grandpa, you still got it." I said, well, buddy, if you think so, you know, it's really all that's important to me. I mean, I'm glad that you think so. I don't know. So when this happens, if I'm speaking, even at this point in time, after being out of Congress all this time, and people do respond, I always think I wish my grandson was here. He would enjoy it. At any rate, you have to understand something about me, and I know I see a lot of old friends here who do know me and know my background, and know that I've been a Republican all my life, and you know I've run in 10 different races, starting in the state legislature in Colorado, 1976. By the way, who was mentioned? Oh, Dick Wadhams was saying when he was 19 he became a county chairman because nobody else wanted it. Well, I remember going down after I promised some 9th graders I was teaching at the time, in 1975. I was promising the 9th graders that I would, I said, I kept trying to get them, this is up at Drake Junior High, 52nd and Ward Road, and I kept saying, and teaching civics to 9th graders. Well, challenging to say the least, and I'm trying to get them involved, and I kept saying, you got to get out there, you got to do something, come on, and you know, they're going, yeah, right. And finally this kid says to me, this really was fateful, he says, well, what are you doing, Mr. Tancredo? And I said, let me get back to you on that. So, like, I don't know, a couple of days afterwards I come back and I said, and I had this foolproof plan, I thought. I said, if all 32 of you will get involved in somebody's race coming up here, or in some ballot initiative, but you've got to prove to me that you really have thought it out, you're not just pick a name, I want to know something. If every one of you thinking, there's no way, 32, absolutely impossible, but if everybody will do it, I'll run for office. And about 2 weeks later, the last kid, Dave Abeda, I'll never forget, you know, comes up and he goes, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, what have I done? And so I said, okay, well, and then we put a list on the board of things for which I could run. And we voted. And they voted that I should run for the state legislature. Luckily, they didn't vote for I should run for president or something. That was all to come later, of course. But so I said, well, okay. And I had gone down to, the day after I went down to the Republican county headquarters in Jefferson County. And I walked in and I said, "Hi, listen, I've done this really crazy thing, but I told my kids I'd do this." And the guy's, shaking my hand and taking my pulse, and he goes, "You're the guy, you're great, oh, absolutely, you're wonderful, he's alive, We had just had this little thing called Watergate, right? Wiped out state everybody. I mean, Republicans, and why there weren't that many people running for office, and they thought, "Hey, he's vertical. He's breathing. I put a mirror before his, he's alive. He can run." I ran, and the rest, as they say, it's history. But so you see, we can get into these systems and politics in various ways, and I bring that up. I only tell you that because of this. I have always been very political, even before that. I was political. When I was in college, I was in College Republicans, but I was also in something else called Young Americans for Freedom. It was a very conservative group. There were 4 of us, University of Northern Colorado, 4 in Young Americans for Freedom, 4 in College Republicans, same 4 people. Right? And we debate the SDS at the time. And you remember them? You remember SDS? And we all thought that they had essentially gone away. They haven't. I don't know if any of you know what happened to me at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, a little bit ago.
Yes.
But it was the first time first time ever that I've actually been stopped from speaking. I mean, I've always had lots of protests when I speak at college campuses. That's not unusual, but this one got violent, started throwing rocks through bricks through the window, and stopped the whole thing. And, cops came in, pulled everybody out, drug me out. The only person hurt, thank God, in that whole thing was me, because the cop stepped on my toe and stepped on my foot and broke my toe on the way out the door. And so for a long time I had a memory of that event. Every time I took a step, I think about. But SDS is back, and they're on campus, and they are a force to be reckoned with, as they were then. I am much more involved with the philosophy of government, probably, than the actual practical politics of it. And why I tell you that is this: I'm a Republican, but as Dick knows, he's known me for a long time, and he's not surprised to hear it when I say it. The Republican Party to me is a mechanism. It's not a thing for which I have, some great affinity, that I'm always going to be a Republican no matter what. I will always. It is a mechanism. It's a way we get to a goal. And that's the way I have always thought of it. I don't owe it anything more than my vote when I believe that person is the right person. That's what I owe it. Nothing else. When I'm in every single oath I have ever taken, whether it's in the state legislature or the Congress of the United States, the first day you all stand up and put up your hand and you take an oath. And never once have I heard in an oath that you're taking, I'm taking an oath to the party or to the president, for that matter. I take an oath every time, 10 times. I have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution, whether it was the state of Colorado or the United States of America. That is my loyalty. That's the loyalty I have. It's far greater than any I have to a party. I have a goal in mind when I run. It's a set of goals often, and I try my best, and I have over the course of years, to tell everybody exactly what it is I believe in and what I will do if you elect me. I mean, I believe that I have succeeded in being as forthright as humanly possible in this business, in explaining that if you elect me, there's going to be, you're going to have people saying a lot of nasty things about me. There's going to be controversies surrounding a lot of things I do and say. It's the way it is. And sometimes it's going to be controversy that comes up because I don't go along with the party line. And when I was in Congress, maybe you remember, there was a guy by the name of Karl Rove who communicated with me a couple of times.